Hello, everybody. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jamie.
And this is Zack and Jamie Need to Know.
It's a podcast where we need to know stuffs, and then we look it up, and we figure it out with you guys.
I know nothing about whatever we're talking about today.
What is it?
Yerba Mate.
Yerba Mate.
Yerba Mate. Okay.
Yerba. What is Yerba Mate?
I don't know.
So
I thought it was a coffee and creamer thing.
I think it's a drink. How do you say it? Is it Oh, it's also a plant, but there's like a drink.
You were correct. Okay.
Yerba Mate.
It's interesting though. Well, I mean that might be the most interesting part of this.
Because now what we need to know is what it is. It is a plant. It's like a drink, but I think the drink might be a cult. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So that's
Is Yerba Mate a cult? Is the question.
Fun fact, I thought it was a drink, but not like a drink. I thought it was like Coffee Mate, and you add it to coffee, and it's like...
Oh, like a mate.
Like a off-brand sweetener.
You did not think that it might be some sort of like weird supplement.
Not even a little bit. Yerba Mate, Coffee Mate.
I really think it's like a whole thing, a supplement thing.
Okay. It's definitely an
energy drink.
So
okay.
It's an energy drink?
Yeah, let's figure out what it is. Like, where is it made? And
so what does this have to do with cults?
I think that there's a cult that does this.
So it's a plant and it's a drink.
But wait, what does the Mayo Clinic say? It's made by steeping dried leaves from the plants in hot water.
So it's basically a tea.
There's
caffeine and makes you feel more alert and focused.
But it can also give you a tummy ache and make you feel a little nutty.
Well, I mean, it has caffeine. Large amounts might not be a good idea. High risk of cancer. I feel like everything gives you cancer, though.
Yeah, I think it's just basically a supplement with caffeine in it, and then caffeine does what caffeine does.
So all of this sounds like a normal energy drink.
Yeah, but then why is it a cult? I'm telling you, it has something to do with where we are. Yes. So this is the thing. It's the Mate Factor Cafe. It's a hippie thing. It's a whole thing, and this is where the Yerba Mate from around here comes from, and the fact.
So, this is why you're curious. Puritanical Bible thumpers.
Yes. It's like a Christian cult.
Well, most of them are somewhat religiously tied.
Yellow Deli. This is what we're looking at. Yellow Deli.
Yellow Deli? Like Delicatessen Deli?
The Yellow Deli is a food place. Yeah. And that is where they get the young women to join their cult.
Wait, is it only women? Does it say anything about that? All right, not a Reddit. Let's find something more official. And...
The Gazette. Is the Gazette more official than Reddit?
Yeah, but hold on. That's too far. I have a question. I don't want to lose it. Because when did this start? And where did it come from? And how come you know so much more about it than I feel like I've never heard about it beyond...
Because I live here. I don't know.
BC, so the plant's not new. Paraguay, Argentina, Uruguay, Bolivia perfected the process of drinking it.
It's a sacred gift from the gods, and it's a symbol of the jungle's power.
I get that. Okay. So it's probably heavily embedded in the indigenous culture. I get that part.
So it was a drink. It had a spiritual meaning. It did a lot of stuff. Then we came in and we're like, no. It's just like a healthy drink.
I keep saying Yerba Mate. It's probably going to happen the whole video, and I'm just sorry, but I can't help it.
Okay, I feel like that's totally fair.
Maybe if it's a cult. Maybe it's a real cult.
Yerba Mate.
Because then that sounds more culty than Yerba Mate. Yerba Mate sounds like a drink.
But Yerba Mate sounds like a cult?
Yes, for sure.
I don't know that the two are tied together in any way, shape, or form.
Well, this is interesting. The Jesuits, settlements, came in... probably like missionaries style. They spent about 20 years trying to domesticate the plant, something that contemporaries found extremely difficult, but they kept the domestication a secret.
So wait, the Jesuits tried to domesticate the plant?
So they didn't try. They succeeded, where it sounds like the locals hadn't been really successful in doing it. They gained a series of commercial advantages over their competitors.
So when they figured out how to domesticate this plant, that's when they decided to make it a health drink.
Well, I think it goes even further. They figured out how to farm it, and then they realized they could make money off of it because they had commercial advantages. That sounds like we can do something you can't, and we provide something that you're not able to, so we're going to take your business, we're going to make a lot of money, and then... Yeah, they wanted to keep that a secret. They promote it as a healthy drink so they can sell.
Yes.
Bruh. Everything's about money. That was the late 1600s.
So this is why Yerba Mate is like super religious.
So
Did it though?
Here's
Did it
my
not?
take. I think it started out being more spiritual. The indigenous people probably used it.
They used it in a way. The weirdest part of this is it's not really giving you any actual benefits.
I could argue that the placebo effect is a positive benefit from something. If you think you feel better, you probably feel better, even if you had to trick yourself into it. And if there's no actual negative harms to it, other than like drinking too much of it and upset stomach, which can happen with almost anything.
I just think it's really weird how these two random things are tied together.
Well, and hopefully we get to connect the dots on how it came along, because it seems like it fell off the mat for a little bit. But
I think so, and this is why I had questions about all of this, and why I wanted to know about this whole cult and religion thing is because I was trying to understand, I guess, what is Yerba Mate? Is it an herb? It's a plant. It's a plant. How a plant could now have a cult? I know this is weird, but it gets there.
You seem like you already know this.
Oh, that's my point, is I don't know how it gets there. I just know that it does. And now that we've started figuring out how it gets there, this is blowing my mind. Like, how is this plant related to this? That's what I'm saying. By saying it's healthy, it's you. If you drink this, it's healthy.
I feel like you're trying to look at it from a rational angle, and no cult that I've ever encountered ever made any sense. So.
But we're gonna keep going until it gets to cult. Like, this ends in cult is the craziest part about this story. Like, what? Okay.
So let's see. 1770s, habit of drinking mate reached as far as Cuenca in present-day Ecuador. But during the colonial period in Europe, mate failed to be accepted like cocoa, tea, and coffee. And I guess that's probably the Jesuits' hope, because if it was, guess what? People drink this all the time, even still. Ooh.
So it's...
Maybe the cult just really wanted to make it popular.
And it became like a thing. They had mate cups, which I saw on some weird Amazon show.
Yeah, so expensive mate cups made of silver in colonial South America.
Yeah.
Made chiefly by Criollo silversmiths, as the occupation was reserved for those who qualified.
And also, by the way, the fact that these cups, like, were silver, like, a lot of people got silver poisoning while they were drinking out of them, so it made their mate experience weirder. But I don't know that it says that. I'm just telling you guys about that. Just think so this stuff is interesting.
Brazil. When did it go worldwide? That's in Argentina. Okay.
So that's just South America.
Here we go. So Syrian and Lebanese immigrants to Argentina spread the habit of drinking mate to their homelands. So that's one way it traveled overseas. I'm gonna have to venture to guess that the Jesuits were Europeans coming in. They had to have been traveling back and forth. So that's all we're getting there. All right. Well, then let's focus back in on this Yellow Deli.
Yeah, Yellow Deli cult.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe that'll get you some.
Here it is. Okay.
Pearl Street in the economic heart of Boulder. What?
Right.
It's here?
Okay. I know. I'm trying to tell you this exists.
It's in Colorado and I had no idea. They're not a very good cult. I've lived here like my whole life, and I thought it's a coffee creamer knockoff.
That's literally exactly the point. Okay, but look, you're not the cult's target audience. Obviously.
You said recruiting girls, so yeah.
By the Southern Poverty Law Center as a cult on the exact same street.
So wait, it's just one restaurant. It's not like they have a church nearby or anything. How big is this restaurant? This is a 10-person cult we're talking about?
I don't know. I don't have the information. But Yellow Deli, like.
Is this place still open? Can I go there for a sandwich? Try to get converted?
Maybe.
It says open, closes 3 p.m. Friday.
What? What are the hours of this place?
Open 24 hours. They're open 24 hours except on the weekends.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
That makes me feel weird.
I couldn't order food from them. I'd be like, what'd you put in this?
Look, can you open the menu? Hang on. I mean, the food looks normalish.
I ain't gonna lie, some of those look pretty good.
I mean, I'd probably eat that. But
you'd never leave. Look at this cinnamon roll, though. This is bad. I'm gonna join a cult over being a big back. My bad. I was hungry and now I can't leave.
So what?
10 minutes away from the high school.
Yeah, but upon entering, you're greeted by soft medieval music, because obviously you are. It's got a tavern-like atmosphere.
I don't need.
Yeah.
I don't see anything crazy.
Okay, the religious group that runs the Yellow Deli is known as the 12 Tribes, and all the employees at the restaurant are members of this organization. The 12 Tribes, a unique religion created from blending Christianity with Judaism, are different from other religions in many key aspects. This group, often labeled a cult, was formed in the American South as a lone religious group. Unlike most religions, all members of the group live in communities worldwide, which are communal housing complexes sharing common areas and a kitchen.
An individual pamphlet given to us demonstrated their beliefs, and the pamphlet titled One Short Life challenged societal norms in contrast with mainstream religions. They view Satan as the ruler of this present age and argue that the education system creates a conveyor belt of life and steers people toward a life of constant work with no higher purpose.
We cannot eat cinnamon rolls here.
They propose their communally based approach to life and induction into their group as a solution.
This is not going to work for us. I kind of want to eat cinnamon rolls there, but also I think I'm susceptible to joining a cult.
I mean, so far I've still heard crazier, man. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid. They're drinking Yerba Mate.
But they're pretending like it's a health drink when it's actually not a health drink.
Well, are they pretending? Or is that just the sales pitch?
In 2022, their Boulder community was linked by fire investigators to the first ignition point of the Marshall Fire. This was ruled to be a legal burn and not the fault of the community's members. Accusations against the group include non-payment of employees, child abuse, and manipulative leadership. They've also been accused of racism, homophobia, and anti-Semitism by the Denver Post.
Dang, okay, well.
Okay, we have questions.
So they're definitely ruffling a few feathers.
We decided to interview one of the employees to find more information in this group. We chose Mishmar, a friendly 20-year-old employee at the Yellow Deli. Hang on. The way it works is a bit different. We all own the Yellow Deli, so it's not like we get paid hourly. All the employees own it together. Confirming that the Yellow Deli employees volunteer their work in exchange for necessities provided by their community. Mishmar also addressed the claim that new members are forced to surrender their possessions, saying, "In our minds, everyone has a free will. Everyone in the community has decided that's what they want to do. While it's not legally compelled, the communal lifestyle discourages private property ownership as all members must live and work within the community." This is absolutely a cult.
So
100.
my immediate question I want to ask about it is, no private property ownership, and you live and work within the community, and you share everything, right? So does that extend to families? Is it child abuse because some other person is trying to discipline your kids because they're communal kids?
Hang on, we're about to get into some child abuse.
That's why I kind of cheated and saw the next thing.
The most serious accusation against this group is child abuse.
Yeah, I think
many ex-members have said they were encouraged to be beaten by the group. The 12 Tribes openly encourages corporal punishment, as seen by their child training manual.
Well, that answered my question.
A wooden rod must be used to correct wrong thoughts, wrong words, and wrong deeds. Okay, so this is a cult that's just into like some old stuff that is not okay. The 12 Tribes denies this claim, saying they don't condone child abuse and that the rod should be used sparingly, which their use of corporal punishment also falls within the legal limits in Colorado, where parents and guardians have permission to use reasonable and appropriate force to discipline a child. Additionally, in recent years, the group seems to have loosened their approach to corporal punishment and stopped giving non-parental adults the ability to discipline children.
So they used to share kids communally as far as discipline goes. There's a saying,
spare the rod, spoil the child. But isn't that biblical, right?
I think something like that.
Right.
So they don't condone child abuse, and that the rod should be used sparingly.
I didn't really know we were going to have this discussion, but this is really super important to me, which is like zero. There's just no reason to ever hit them. So I just want to say that out loud.
The worst thing for my kid is telling her I'm disappointed and that I know that she knows better. Because when I tell her she knows better and I know she knows better, then she's like, oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like it's harder to raise kids without disciplining them that way in the beginning, especially because they're little. But, I mean, eventually it becomes way easier because they just know better, because they use their own brains to figure out things instead of the fear of being hurt by someone who loves them. And that is crazy, so.
I got spanked growing up. Not when I was young. It was when I was old enough to be a shithead, but not quite old enough that grounding was an option.
I'm really glad that part of our lives in that time is over. And that we've realized that, like, that's not the way to raise our kids.
I'm just a talker. And also, I wasn't the enforcer anyway in the family, so I'm not going to try to
I'm not going to teach my kid to talk.
Yeah.
I also want her to be able to stand up for herself, and I don't want her to be like, I don't want to stand up for myself because I'm scared of getting hurt. That's a really weird way to live your life. That's really important. I just want to say that as a mom.
Please clue me in, kid.
Yeah, just tell me what's. Yeah, also, yeah, just tell me what's going on. Let's figure it out.
I'm a dude. I have no idea what it's like to be a little girl. Please clue me in.
Also, I'm a person who's older than you, and I have no idea what it's like to be in your head.
I feel like you can kind of relate to what young women go through from a like natural.
Yeah, I'm lucky that at least I have that.
Yo, these Gen Zs and Alphas, they're going through things we never had to deal with.
Well, the internet is just so much less privacy than we ever had. That's the whole thing.
I was talking about this with a coworker. Being a millennial, especially, and like my age millennial, literally the internet signified my teenage years and like goodbye being a little kid. And now the internet is here and I'm being social when social media is a thing. 2004 was MySpace for me. And
yeah, I still say the same thing because that's kind of how the internet worked. As you got older, you either learned how to use it when you adopted it early, or you did like these kids did. They grew up and learned to use it as it came up.
Kids learn younger and younger.
Yeah.
They're going to be the ones figuring out how to get us out to Mars and Pluto.
Which is cool because, I mean, I'm lost now. The internet is too complicated. It's all too complicated. I'm done learning.
I didn't see any bit of coding until I got to college, and middle schoolers are doing app coding now. That's super
cool. Okay, have fun, kids.
Yeah. In the future.
Who knew?
Don't let them work at the Yellow Deli, though.
So they visited the community in Boulder. This article here.
They interviewed Mishmar. So
yeah,
it said he was 20, but he had been a member of the 12 tribes since the age of 6.
Immediately gave us there were many children in the community and they looked happy on the surface. Everybody in the community was exceptionally outgoing and kind to us. Okay.
Surprising considering all the accusations leveled against the 12 tribes.
We arrived, they immediately called in one of their musicians from work to play songs on a guitar and sing for us. Like,
they say they're not hippie, but
that's a little
really hippie.
I've seen this movie.
S'mores?
This is a little on the nose for me. Really?
This is what y'all did growing up? This is what Puritans do?
No. Why am I a Puritan? I mean, I'm not a Puritan. What?
I thought like you came up in that culture a little bit.
I mean, I was raised Christian, very Christian, but not Puritan. I don't think that's the same. Well, it's actually called Disciple of Christ, and it's actually, honestly, Puritan's a really good way to describe it. Now that you said that, I'm like, yeah.
I'm just going to go.
You're not wrong. As you're describing it, I know that actually is a great description of the religion I was a part of growing up. So,
I'm not being too technical. I guess I'm using that term loosely as there's a wide range of
because I'm all about purity, culture, and shame, and all of that stuff. And I think it has a lot to do with the way I was raised. It was basically like, if Baptists and Methodists had a much more conservative baby, that's what I was.
I would say that to me fits in the Puritan alley.
Yeah, I really feel like you found it. You hit the nail on the head there. That's interesting. Interesting that you went there, though.
Oh, all right. Sidetrack.
Okay.
So they bust out a guitar to welcome their guests.
Yeah, they do.
It seems like they're trying to put you at ease, but also like want you to let your guard.
But wait, a lot of hostility in Boulder towards this group, maybe undeserved. It just seems like they were presenting kind of like, welcome to our kumbaya circle, and these people kind of just bought into it, is what I'm reading. Welcome to our cult. We swear we're not. Really swear we're not a
the
cult.
Extremists. Okay, so for a community that is proud to share everything and nobody has private ownership, then for you to then switch up and be like, but we're all different and not the same. We have different beliefs.
Right.
And maybe that's not part of the 12.
No, that actually kind of makes sense.
Maybe that's not a part of the 12 tribes per se. Maybe there were racist members of the 12 tribes that just had the racism rub off or the homophobia rub off. Those things tend to happen in these super religious type communities, though. As the more remote you get from society and civilization, quote unquote, wild people's religious beliefs can become. That's fair. They just happen to be right in the middle of Boulder, which is surprising, and not on some random farm like Jim Jones took people to. He was in South Africa, I think.
I think that's the issue. Is I've been to Boulder. It's a really accepting place.
So then what if, because there are religious ties, what if it's not a cult and it's just a sect of a religion? That's just really, really...
Oh, because they're two different religions that connect.
Which one of the 12 tribes was Mishmar from? Did it say? Can he be from all 12 at the same time?
What?
How does that work? The kid they interviewed. No,
I don't think there are 12 tribes in that the tribes have different names. No, it's just, they're just known as that. There aren't actually 12 tribes. Yeah. Are there, we were done, are there actually 12 tribes?
I'm just going to Google 12 tribes.
I mean, 12 tribes cult Yellow Deli, but I mean 12 tribes.
So here, okay, hold on.
12 tribes cult.
I'm going to read their little welcoming thing that I read that made me convinced.
Okay, that's probably fair. Is this cult? They're self-governing tribes made of self-governing communities. We mean families and single people who live together in homes and on farms. We are disciples of the Son of God, whom we call his Hebrew name, Joshua. They follow the Old and New Testament scriptures and live like the early disciples in the Acts. With all our hearts, we want to do our Father's will, which is to love one another and be a light to the nations so they can see the life of love and know how much this is.
Wait, but time out. Where we were reading something about them following Satan, and this directly says they call the Son of God
so
Yahshua.
So then this can't be the same cult, right?
Was it on Reddit they said that, though?
I thought it was in that article.
And we're going to explore this website too much and get converted. I don't want to be in a cult. Life's already hard. If there's ever a website that's going to have subliminal messaging, it's going to be a cult
ultimate
website.
Purpose redemption. The vast universe with countless trillions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, orbited by countless planets, and for what? A beautiful and glorious... Is this the same cult as Yerba Mate?
Stars were meant not only to gaze upon and wonder, but to colonize forever and ever. Our loving Creator has a plan to restore humanity and to fill the earth and ultimately the universe with his highest creation, man. His plan of restoration and redemption has waited for the fullness of time to be fulfilled. We believe the time is now.
This
sounds like they're down for space travel.
Is our cult?
I'm pretty sure.
What does this have to do with Satan?
Where was it? A confederation of 12 self-governing tribes made up of self-governing communities.
So what are those?
Can anybody just call them?
There are podcasts.
They have podcasts?
Yes. Click the podcast button.
Bro, no.
Yes. At that time connects ancient biblical prophecies with today's events. Are we living in the last days?
Hosted by Hakinai and Koram of the tribe of Manasseh. So that's one tribe.
Tribes.
That's the same tribe.
Tribe of Manasseh. Maybe this is the podcasting tribe.
From the hearts of disciples around the globe. These are audio only.
To believe is to obey. Okay.
But it doesn't say what tribe these people are.
We cannot listen to these.
No,
these aren't even that old. They're from 2022.
Older's not that far. If I end up converted, I'm end up at the Yellow Deli my next day off. That's not cool.
We need to go eat a sandwich at the Yellow Deli.
Nah,
We're doing it.
Watch it be the best sandwich we've ever had.
We're doing it.
It takes our souls.
I don't think the sandwich can take our souls. I think we have to offer up our souls.
Here's another random question that I doubt we'll get the answer to.
Okay.
The deli makes money, but the employees don't take any of the money.
So where does the Yellow Deli money go?
So you assume, if it's a community, that the money is going to buy things for the community, right? Community members. But who is the one deciding how to spend the money?
Let's find out. Where does the Yellow Deli money go? Let's find out.
I really don't think you can get it. Like, I think you can get the PR answer for sure. Where does the Yellow Deli's profit go?
The profits from the restaurants
and go to fund the 12 tribes.
But the 12 tribes are not just in Boulder. Like, these places exist. There's
around
more
the world.
Yellow Deli. The Yellow Deli has more Yellow Delis. The Yellow Deli is known for its sandwiches on fresh baked breads.
Many business operations, including food service, construction, farming, soap making, woodworking, and solar.
This is an international cult.
Yeah, well, then that's the thing. As a business, there are members who probably built businesses and then converted and now share everything.
Okay.
Like construction, soap making, woodworking, solar energy is the one of these things, not like the other.
Yeah.
Solar energy?
Yellow Deli exploits cult. What is that? Yellow Deli Boulder owner.
This was the Denver Post throwing shade at them. This is from January. Sandwiches are great. Too bad they fund a cult. Damn.
I'm telling you, they fund a cult. Yes. We gotta try the sandwiches.
Do a follow-up.
But I would just like to get some sandwiches.
I mean, hey, let us know in the comments if you want to see us go to the Yellow Deli and try their food. If I end up in a cult, though, I'm blaming whoever suggested it.
No, I won't blame you, and I want to go. The Yellow Deli.
They have students that go to school and work there. Also.
According to a Denver Post investigation, the group teaches black people should be subservient to white people. Homosexuality is a sin worthy of death, and wives must submit to their husbands. So what we're discovering is this is a pretty fundamentalist cult, right? But we still don't really understand the Satan situation. I feel like that was some sort of red herring. What was the deal with Satan?
I don't even remember where we read that at. It was in one of the very first
places. They recruited some members at Grateful Dead and Bob Dylan concerts. Okay, because they do those like out in Boulder. Yeah, that's true.
Free love and everything. That was a whole movement.
So they got legendary sandwiches from a cult.
They're open 24 hours a day except on the Sabbath day of Saturday.
So they are open 24 hours a day.
During the week, except on the weekends. So Friday and I think Sunday, they were 12 to 3 p.m. And then Saturday, they're closed all day.
The inside
Monday
feels
through
like
Thursday,
a
they're
hippie
24
cracker.
hours. I mean, I'm almost sold. That sounds cool.
I know. It's 3 floors finished with dark wood, and the booths were laid out in funky patterns. A fireplace burned in the corner, and the health and sanitation inspection got an A rating. The bathrooms were gender neutral, saying whoever you are on them. See, I just can't imagine like a cult being racist.
Please tell us if you have food allergies. We love you.
Maybe they're trying to change from what they used to be.
I mean, I'm not against positivity.
Okay, there's King James Bible in the lobby. The bar didn't serve alcohol, and the 12 tribes pamphlets offered around the restaurants. Titles including The 3 Eternal Destinies of Man and Are You Ready for What's Coming? I felt that since I'd come all this way, I had to order 2 of their legendary sandwiches.
A veggie burger and a
vegetable sandwich. I expressed my reservations funding the group, but Rebecca said, fuck it, we ball.
Hey!
Good for them, they did a thing.
Food was good, but not life-changing.
I mean, maybe the cult is life-changing.
I mean, your food ain't gotta be good if you'd be trapped there forever, stuck eating it anyway. Yellow Submarine was just lettuce, tomato, pepper, onions, and sprouts in between bread, but the sauce, mysteriously called the spread of the week, gave it a lovely finish.
This is weird.
Wait, the Yellow Submarine didn't have any meat? Oh, it did say Yellow Submarine.
Veggie sandwiches, I don't know.
Veggie burger was notably better than the vegetarian food I have encountered elsewhere in the rural South, and the coleslaw was not overpowered by mayonnaise.
I mean, we should go eat here.
It all seemed so
nice. See, that's what we're saying, is this whole thing seems very like you show up and they're playing a folk song on the radio.
Well, I mean, yeah, you gotta sell people on your cult.
The workers seem nearly stress-free. I wondered if they're...
If the real world goes or the...
Chapel Hill.
Oh, so North Carolina, yeah, Tar Heel. Duh, I'm an idiot. These are UNC students.
So we read through the pamphlets. Hippie aesthetic, secular music and books, and other worldly influences are verboten. The pamphlets show people dancing in circles and present a gentler view of hell than your average pit preacher. But they teach that slavery was a marvelous opportunity for black people.
In the pamphlets, then you can't deny they're blatantly racist. This wasn't the one in Boulder. Let me clarify that. This is in Hiddenite, somewhat local. So not the one in Boulder. Can't speak on that one, I guess. But
no,
this is
we have to go to that.
Deli.
Okay.
So around
we have to
1:15,
go to ours.
They made it back to Spencer. Still a car full of normal private property holding LGBTQ plus affirming, slavery condemning Presbyterians, agnostics, Catholics, and Mormons. So those denominations and sects are vastly different from the 12 tribes, it sounds like.
Right. So
they don't associate.
I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Well, I think they mentioned it for a reason. Like, yo, we're all these different types of quote-unquote Christians. Did we avoid joining the cult? Yes. But can we ever get a sandwich that good without another 135-mile odyssey to Hiddenite? Also, yes. It would be 5 stars on taste alone, but one has to be removed for the guilt to my conscience after paying the bill.
Yeah, that's
and fair. They still gave it 4 stars.
Which means it was really good.
That's how they get you. They change your life with a sub.
What's going on in the Colorado Springs Gazette article?
Good
From
question.
Manitou Springs to this one.
Of course it involves Manitou.
Okay, Mate Factor Cafe, part of the Global Trail. Okay, so this is the Mate Factor Cafe. Oh, at their 12 Tribes communal house in Manitou Springs.
And the members... Okay, well, this is who is pictured. Sakai left and wife Dara, with their children, Sheriff 7,
Tarawa, Zamara,
Teruwa,
and Sugolan.
Zamara, and Sugolan. 6, 15, 17. And then they have 4 more not pictured that I'm going to assume are probably younger than the 17. So they live in a communal house.
So the 12 tribes, they operate the Mate Factor Cafe in Manitou Springs.
Just like a cafe, I guess.
Desperate to find God, he attended churches.
How does it always end up affecting me? Like, I'm in Colorado Springs. This is the most random place on earth.
I know, but this is cool. I heard a voice. I love you and I haven't forgotten about you. I'm going to show you the way, but when I do, you're going to have to drop everything and do it. God used a 2001 article in the Gazette to show him his next step. This is what I was going to show you, the voice said, as he read an article about 12 Tribes, the international Christian group that operates the Mate Factor Cafe in Manitou Springs. You have to drop everything and do it. He talked to the group and accepted their invitation to join them, giving up his old life and his few possessions.
They look happy dancing.
To go into the 12 tribes, I had to leave my old life behind, trust my life to these people, and come under their authority for the rest of my life. That sounded pretty good to me. Whoa. With his new life, they get a new name.
That's his Hebrew name.
Okay. Years later, Zakai remains faithful to the community that gave him life, his wife, and his children. His work, co-shepherding the local community and managing the cafe, seems a small sacrifice for the blessings he has enjoyed. One of the few groups surviving from Jesus' movement of the 1960s and 1970s is the 12 Tribes. So it's Pentecostal.
The day of the Pentecost, celebrated by Christians worldwide today.
Oh, that's fair. Suddenly a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from the heaven and filled the whole house where they were sitting, all of them filled with the Holy Spirit. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold their property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. The outpouring of the Holy Spirit on the day of the Pentecost gave birth to a rich tribal life of togetherness and mutual care and accountability. When you dine at the cafe, you're supporting a local community of 36 people. That's not that many people.
Including 5 married couples and 15 kids, all of whom live in 2 communal houses near the restaurant. Diners are also supporting a
lot
larger
of people
network,
for 2 houses. Yeah. Oh,
2,000 to 3,000 disciples in 12 tribes communities worldwide. Where they harvest the mate used for drinks. And Spain, where they make olive oil.
During an interview at the cafe, 3 male leaders or shepherds seemed earnest and joyful.
Members see Manitou Springs as a mini Mecca, a place where people are seeking. The group also has a community in Boulder, where it operates one of its popular Yellow Deli cafes. With the men's beards and bound hair and the women's simple clothing, members resemble hippies, or perhaps Amish or Mennonite believers.
Okay, so they have a look about them.
Members gather for worship every morning and evening. During the day, some work at the cafe, while others homeschool the children. They don't have a TV or read papers. Nationalism, they say, even though Zakai has warm feelings for the Gazette.
But this is a paper.
Sensationalism, although I like you guys. Well,
the cafe is the local community's primary means of support and primary way of reaching the Springs community with their message. Members don't proselytize, but they're always willing to answer questions.
And they make free issues of the 12 Tribes free paper available for those who want them. In case you guys want to join a cult.
Or
you really want to join a cult.
No,
you just don't know it. Your subconscious is pushing you towards
I just want to learn about it. Oh my gosh, we could learn so many things. They receive no pay because they work as volunteers. And because of their common treasury, the IRS classifies them as religious. So they don't have to pay taxes.
Pure profit.
Much of the tribes is similar to Christian groups, but they emphasize living in strict accordance with God's law as revealed in the New Testament.
And the Old.
They follow Jewish Levitical laws on lifestyle, diet, and celebrate the major Jewish festivals, including Pentecost or Shabbat and Passover. Okay?
So, lifestyle and diet of Jewish
kosher?
They're not eating certain foods.
Right.
Pork and they don't eat seafood either, right?
I don't know. I don't. But
don't quote me on that. I don't really know. I'm guessing.
All I know is that they're kosher. So they believe that gathering 12 tribes, the book of the Revelation. 12 tribes members believe that living communally is a requirement for true followers of Christ.
Who they call by his Hebrew name.
Yes. Okay, we knew that.
It says an article in the Free Paper, families, clans, and tribes in stark contrast to the suburban loneliness of the world. Dang. What a backhanded compliment. Suburban loneliness.
Are you ready to cult up?
No.
No. You love suburban loneliness?
Wasn't I just telling you
You love suburban loneliness.
Yeah, I'd rather cry alone in a house I own than be stuck in an apartment around a bunch of other people that can have a community with.
I guess so. When asked about the spiritual status of the vast majority of Christians who don't live communally, one of the local groom shepherds quoted, "We know that we are children of God and the whole world." Oh, so they're just...
Satan still hasn't made another appearance. They briefly said something that I thought was leading that way, and then not.
Right. What happened with that? Okay, we believe very sincere people are positive. Okay, we hope we can learn one another. They follow a strict morality that some see some as
family values on steroids.
They favor male leadership, practice corporal punishment on children, and do not condone homosexuality. My story about the group bore this headline: the idyllic restaurant chain owned by a homophobic racist child beating cult. The Southern Poverty Center issued a similar warning, calling the group a Christian fundamentalist cult.
Dang, Vice don't pull any punches either. Okay.
Yeah, whose hippie vibed restaurants and cafes conceal a tangle of doctrine that, among other things, supports slavery and homophobia. 12 tribes communities have frequently been accused of and occasionally found guilty of child abuse and labor violations, and have faced penalties for requiring children to perform adult work on 12 tribes' farms and crafts. Local members are quick to dismiss these and other allegations and say such controversies are part of the persecution of members' faith. What about the claim that once you're in the group, you can never leave? People come and go all the time. Do they? What about the prevented staying in touch with our family? The life we live is the life our Father is showing us. You can't fit us into a box. Somebody showed them their cell phone, complete with frequently used contacts from family members. Okay, so some of them do talk to their family and then others don't. I don't condone anything here. What they're trying to do is just prove they're not a cult and they're a cult, right?
The way he talks in this last sentence makes me wonder what sort of backgrounds. Did you watch Boy Meets World ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just couldn't see it. When people realize there's no place for them in this world, when they seek a place where they can come and be put back together, this is that place. At least it was for me. Okay, so this is like just take broken people and invite them into a cult.
So in the Boy Meets World episode,
when you hit rock bottom,
Sean Hunter, who's the troubled kid,
he totally joined a cult. I remember that. My God!
So I just wonder what some of these backgrounds of these people are, if they're seeking a place where there was no one.
And like, also, Boulder and Manitou are two very hippie places. Like
Boulder's, I mean, people refer to them as like the trust fund hippies.
Yeah, but it's still super hippie.
I mean, yes, but you would think that like he would be above something like those.
Yeah, so now you have to be like,
I'm not gonna lie, Manitou kind of fits.
Manitou's a little. I mean, I love Manitou.
I mean, there's bumper stickers that are like Manitou, stay weird.
Yeah, we're okay with that. I mean, that's what we want, Manitou.
I like going to Manitou. I'm not gonna join a cult there, but I mean, I feel like it's not all or nothing. So.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I should be able to go to the Penny Arcade in Manitou and not get converted.
We're going to go to the Penny Arcade and see if we get converted. Yeah, that sounds like a really good time. Okay, so we know what the Yellow Deli does. Where are we at? Tell me, Zach. What else do we need to know?
Well, I didn't believe you in the beginning, but I think I'm kind of convinced they're a cult.
Yeah.
They're a little culty.
I know. This is definitely a cult. And they're getting in trouble all the time.
Okay. So here's what I come to is, should we have a problem with it, or should they just be allowed to kind of do their own thing if they're not hurting nobody?
Let's go to I Escaped the Yellow Deli. I want to see what that says. I think there might be an issue. I live in Utah. I Escaped the Yellow Deli.
2006.
That's like almost 20 years ago.
They said that people could come and go as they please. Just noted, previous article said that one of their members stated that. Granted, this was 2006. Mm-hmm. That might matter.
Well, so this is important. This article came out, and this is probably the article they were referencing when they were saying people said we can't leave. Well, where they're saying we can.
Chickamauga, Georgia. I know where that is.
You do?
Shout out to the family in Georgia because we've been all over.
Okay, Chickamauga. Chickamauga. Am I allowed to say that word?
Yeah, it's kind of central northeast Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Because there's the Chickamauga Dam, which I think is in actual Tennessee, on the Tennessee side. But I think the lake reservoir is on the border. So that's my guess. Don't shoot me. I haven't been in that area in a long time.
So wait, I was informed that the children did not belong to the parents. The children belong to God. There was a schedule for child rearing, and the parents did not have input on where their child was and with whom. This is a hardcore expose.
Well, yeah, they said that. I mean, they said that. One article we read that was much more recent said something about them having to stop letting other adults parent people's kids or something.
Right, that was a part of it.
So this is prior to that, then.
So this is what everything's been referencing. So they just find people with nothing and have them give up, right?
I'm telling you, that's why the first thing I thought of was Sean Hunter.
I know. Boy Meets World. Maybe Boy Meets World was based on the Yerba Mate. Will you check to see if the Boy Meets World cult was based on the Yellow Deli.
And this is what I was just starting to formulate in my mind, is that a lot of cults go for people who kind of been beaten up by life and a little bit weak-minded and broken. And then they make them feel better, and that's how they stick around.
Yeah, I think it's the whole thing. So I don't want to join a cult, but I'm interested in how this cult can basically exist in plain sight. Yeah.
Called the Sinner.
But I'm curious about what it was supposed to be. Like, Sean joins the cult. Corey and others try to snap him out of it. Okay, yeah.
I don't think it was based on any particular cult, but...
Yeah, so this is really hardcore. This is not a good place to end up. And so, no, they can't act like this. No, they are hurting people. The answer to your question was, is it hurting people? Yes. And here's the thing. They just should not keep existing. And the fact that they're fixing things, this shouldn't exist. It's too controlling.
Well, I mean, they still do, unfortunately, I guess. I feel cults are not something that really should flourish, but sometimes they do. This from 2006 article to these most recent ones, they say they've changed a lot of the stuff going on here.
Yeah, so
I'm not weighing in one way or another. That's what they say. I'll leave it up to people at home. But
I'm not giving them that at all. If they've ever done this, they shouldn't exist. It just shouldn't be an organization that is then pretending that they still have the same values. I'm not okay with their values to begin with, and I guarantee you that they're being gross with them. That's what I say.
I don't think ISIS should exist, but we don't have the power to do so.
Yeah, but I don't want them to. I never said we have the power to. Just because we're close by doesn't mean we have the power to end them. I'm just saying...
You can actually do something about Yerba Mate. Don't buy their drinks.
They have anything to do with this.
See, we can't go to the Yellow Deli.
No.
We can't spend our money.
We can't go to the Yellow Deli, but Yerba Mate, the drink, has nothing to do with this.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Check it. I think they just randomly have the same name.
No.
Yellow Deli don't have anything to do with it. Yerba Mate.
The
Mate Factor is not Yerba Mate. I don't think they have anything to do with this. That's what I'm saying. This is super weird.
Why do you associate Yerba Mate with a cult then?
Because of the Mate Factor in the 12 tribes and how the 12 tribes specifically used the plant of Yerba Mate, but Yerba Mate, the drink, is not a problem at all. Nothing.
Mate Factor. That's the name of the Manitou Cafe.
Yes.
Mate Factor is the leader in gently crafted Yerba Mate. So yeah, the cult has something to do with the drink.
But no, the drink is the tea. But the name brand drink that you can buy in the store is not that drink. It's bottled by someone else completely.
Wait. So is the name brand not even the actual drink? They just have the name?
You need to look at
hold on.
Do you see what I'm saying? They have nothing to do with it, I think.
So you don't think they have anything to do with it? No. Guayaki Yerba Mate is connected to the Apache people of Paraguay and other indigenous communities in South America. So the branded drink has nothing to do with it.
Except that it is branded as a health drink.
Well, that just goes back to, that's what they tell you to make money. And maybe it is. I don't think any energy drinks have health benefits, but I remember hearing about ginseng and guarana and keep you alert and focused. And they're all just soda with more sugar.
So confused.
If Mate Factor sells it, they are connected to 12 tribes.
Right. But they don't sell the drink.
So it's
they don't
friend of my friend thing. We're not
I don't think they have anything to do with each other. I just think they both use the same plant and don't realize that there's a cult out there and there's also a spiritual brand, except that everybody in Boulder drinks yerba mates and goes to the Yellow Deli. So this is why I'm confused.
So an energy drink of yerba mates, or are they drinking the actual tea maybe at the Yellow Deli? Maybe it's just college kids not knowing that there's no difference.
Except that the cult is in Boulder and in Manitou.
Well, that's not the initial question we set out for, though, because initially it was, what does yerba mate have to do with a cult? And yerba mate doesn't. Mate Factor seems to be.
Well, the question was, is yerba mate a cult? And no, Yellow Deli is a cult, which is 12 tribes is a cult. The Mate Factor, that's just the restaurant, right?
I think so. But there's a company. Is that the same, the company, like parent company of the cafe then?
Do you see why I'm getting confused? Like, do these have anything to do with each other?
I think they
or
do.
Or are they completely separate?
I think they definitely do. Mate Factor may not market that energy drink Yerba Mate, but they're making the Yerba Mate tea, and their members drink that.
Right.
It's all connected. It's very complex. It's like a spider web, but I definitely think 12 Tribes, Yerba Mate, Mate Factor, just not the can of energy drink. That might be the only outlier. But
that's why I think you're right. The only outlier is the canned energy drinks. They're everywhere, and they kind of feel hippie-like. So it's like they stole the vibe, but they literally used their vibe in this cult, and then they just kind of like built it. Yeah.
So I think with the canned drink, it's actually kind of funny because they're a South American company, we found out, right?
Right.
Basically, they're doing what the Jesuits did. Hey, here's an energy drink.
Our sport.
We're making money off of it. So they're just focused on that.
And it is a good energy drink. Obviously, it has caffeine in it, so it's a good energy drink, and it's probably a good way to get caffeine.
I like that that's poetic.
We should drink one.
The Jesuits came in and started selling it to
and
make
they were
money
like,
in the 1700s, and now in modern day, the South Americans themselves are making money off of it, telling people it's healthy.
Okay.
Doing the same kind of thing. So it came full circle.
All right.
I kind of like that.
So I'm okay with this.
But the South American Yerba Mate and their business has nothing to do with the cult. And I don't think Yerba Mate is a huge factor in the cult per se. They just members to drink, and there's a cafe called Mate Factor,
and you can get mate there. And they use the plant a lot.
This would have been so much easier on me. Mate, Yerba Mate.
Yerba
One
Mate.
syllable versus two.
I feel like I know everything I need to know, Zach.
The plant can be mate.
You know everything you need to know?
I didn't need to know any of this anyway. This changes my life 0%.
I mean, does it ever change our lives?
I wasn't planning on going to the Yellow Deli anyway. Now I don't want to give them my money, so I probably shouldn't go now.
Think about that, though. We now know there's like a cult area. I mean, we could tell our friend, be careful, don't go to the cult. This is Zack and Jamie Need to Know.
Yeah, we found out about Yerba Mate.
Okay.
It's not a coffee drink.